Hi guys, Teresa here. Hey, I found this awesome video on placements. It doesn't go into a ton of detail, but it gives you a nice starting point and a philosophy behind what they are leading us towards. So I'm going to try to go get the recording. It's on Facebook. That's why I can't share it with you because I'm part of a private group. But I'm hoping this way I can share it with you and then we can talk about it. So give me a minute here to go get my share, see if I can get it started. Hang on. Okay, that's not what I want. Gotta move out of my way. My bar is in the way right now. Okay, let me go here. Okay, now I'm hoping this works. I won't know because you guys need to tell me that it's going to work. Let me come back to this. Hang on a minute. Let me come back to Zoom. I don't want this. Hang with me. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. I'm just going to have to go for it. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, I'll have to get rid of it. Okay. So here we go.
It's streaming.
This is Lisa Zimmer and a lady called Mandy Johnston. She's part of the group that I'm in that teaches us how to do the placements.
Example of why you make friends all over in doTERRA, right? Because we were Insta besties and we put our minds together and have collaborated and created so many things to solve problems. And it's really made my doTERRA experience so unbelievably fulfilling, right? So hopefully Mandy can share her thoughts on that. But point being, make friends everywhere. You never know where they're going to pop up. They're going to pop up in the most random, mysterious places. So one of the things Mandy and I did was I mentored for another good just over a year and couldn't do it anymore. And so that's how WWZB was born. This way I'm able to mentor all of you at the same time for a ridiculously low price in comparison to what mentoring costs. One-time mentoring was to $125 an hour, and it just wasn't cost effective, wasn't time effective for me, but wasn't cost effective for all of you. And so what happens now is in WWCD, you can get daily mentoring for the whole $35 to $45 per shebang and all the tools. And I feel better about it, makes me feel better about what we do, and we can accomplish a lot more in a shorter amount of time. With that then, lost the access to get structure mentoring. Well, Miss Mandy and I spent that whole year and a half together strategizing, structuring, and teaching each other what each of us did know, and then what we didn't know. Mandy went and learned above and beyond and mastered with doTERRA involvement, right? Because she reached out to account managers all the way up to Diamond. Yeah, and included them in your, she took over then the training for mentoring and structuring to help people build a structuring group with the tools and ideas and concepts that we spent a year and a half putting together, mastering, testing, etc. And so what we're going to do for you today is help you from ground zero, right? Because there's so many brand new people that are like, wait, what? I don't get this. We want to help you. There's so many people that were like me that got all the way to Diamond, made a huge mess or bigger, and are like, wait, what? Start over for me so I can start my new leaders off right, and I can go back and try to fix what I broke. And so Mandy and I are going to talk about that a little bit today. I will let you talk. I'm talking. I'm just so excited about structuring. All right, please post in the comments if you have worked with Mandy so that people understand who she is, feel better about why she's here and what she does, right? So one thing that I want you to understand and learn from too is when you go to invest in, say, a structuring group with Mandy, right? What is it, like $29 or something, and it's forever?
$29.
$29 forever, okay? So why Mandy? Read the comments from other people why Mandy, right? Because $29 forever is ridiculously cheap. Why Mandy? Because she's gold, right? You're going to hear a couple leaders say, oh, you only want to work with me because I'm, a 16 million presidential blah, 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 blah. Mandy shared the focus of her business for the last year and a half and is dividing it between helping everyone with graphics because she's amazing at graphics, helping everyone with structuring because she's amazing at structuring. She goes into all the ranked groups, gold, platinum, and below, and answers questions for free all day. That is time she takes away from her doTERRA business, right? Everybody's going to be different. I choose to do this stuff, WWCD, biz tips, tools, because it builds up my cup, but it also then takes time away from building the blue diamond and presidential, right? So find people that, what do I want to say, fulfill your needs, but don't pick people based on rank to help you, okay? So I'm solid diamond, ranked blue diamond, Mandy's gold, but we have found the tricks to solve your problems for structuring, for graphics, for WWCD. Okay. All right, so please post in the comments if you've worked with Mandy, whether it's for private mentoring for structuring or if you're in her group and what it's doing for you. Okay. So you want to screen share with what you have set up? Let's start with that.
Yeah, so let me see. Where's my Zoom app? There it is. It says that you've disabled screen sharing, Zim.
Oh, okay. Let me go click on you as a panelist, and I'm going to make you the host. So now you can.
Okay.
Okay, so accept host, and you can do it.
Okay. Let's see.
I want to set this up for newbies coming in. So what Mandy's going to talk about is when you build your doTERRA business, our doTERRA business is built on stacking people on top of one another. When you first get started, you want 2 wellness advocates on your front line, and then you want to get wellness advocates under them, and then your wholesale customers go below that. She's going to go through it, right? And that's what she's talking about when she talks about legs and she's putting people under people. So this is a big structure you see right now. Now she's going to take it back to zeroing in on a small starter structure for you.
Let me see if it will pull itself up. There we go. I know
Use a graphical tree for those of you that are new.
Everybody and their mom wants to see my structure. Maybe at a later time. Okay, so I am at the point in my business where gold's pretty good. We've been rolling with that for a while. My goals for myself personally is to be able to hit platinum by the end of the year, which I'm trying to hit before convention so that I can walk. And then next year is really going to be the year that we're going to start looking at diamond. However, I really wanted to show you guys the bare bones structure of how I'm planning my 4th leg. Now, am I going to be putting volume in this 4th leg? No, absolutely not yet, because I'm not ready for a 4th leg. I need to stick with my 3 legs, solidify those ranks where I'm at now, solidify those ranks in platinum, and then once I'm a solid platinum and I'm ranking platinum every month for at least 3 months in a row that are non-FOGO months, and I'm hitting rank by the 15th of the month, then that means that I'm solid in my rank, and only then am I going to start investing volume into my 4th leg. But what I can do right now is what I call build the perfect structure, right? So this person here at the top is actually one of my placeholders. I actually built an entire team to Premier underneath her before. And then when I found a leader to take over that team, we did an account transfer form. I gifted her team to the new leader. And now I'm recycling her as a placeholder. So she's on my front line. and I'm reusing her again as a placeholder. So she is a 100 PV orderer, but even if she was not, it doesn't matter, because a placeholder does not have to be on LRP. They don't have to be doing 100. They just have to be somebody in the system with the social, right? That you can use them to hold a place for a future leader to come into your team. And for right now, you just build underneath them, because you don't need any rank requirements off of that leg, right? You don't need that leg for anything right now. So this is my friend Angela, and I've started working this structure. I'm not quite finished with it, but she would be my qualifier on my front line, right? And so eventually, when I look at hitting diamond, the diamond rank is 4 silver leaders. So you're working with 4 silver leaders when you hit diamond. So she would be, my future silver at diamond, but we know that we plan for blue diamond, right? We don't just plan for diamond. So when you're planning for blue, you're working with 5 gold leaders at that point. So eventually she would be that gold leader. These 2 wellness advocates on her front line would be 2 of the 3 premiers that she needs for gold. You need 3 premiers to be a gold leader. I need her to be a gold for me to be blue. She's going to need 3 leaders here on her front line. But let's take baby steps, and we always teach and talk about getting to premier first. Premier is that first benchmark rank that we want to help everybody set up for. So even though this is a placeholder team right now, we're structuring this team for premier, right? So she has her 2 legs here for premier. So these will be her 2 executive legs that will get her to premier. But in the long term, when she's a gold, those 2 legs will also be premiers, right? So you can see this future premier right here, Melanie. She has 2 legs underneath her. Those 2 legs will be her 2 legs that will get her to premier, okay? I'm in the process of moving some other accounts around. I couldn't get this exactly perfect before I hopped on with you guys, but I've been working on it for a couple of days. So this structure right here underneath Heather Drewis will look the exact same. There'll be 2 legs underneath her, right? And then we'll have a 3rd leader here on Angela's front line, and then same thing, 2 legs underneath her, right? And so we'll work those 2 legs underneath all of these frontline leaders, the 3 frontline leaders here, and we'll work those to help her first reach premier. So we'll focus on just 2 of those 3 legs in the beginning, right, to get her to premier. And then once she pushes past premier, she's going to need 3 legs, because she needs 3 elites for silver. But the whole time that we're working these legs, we're putting our customer volume underneath these people, because these are our future executives, right? Gold, premier, executives. We put our customer volume down here underneath the executives. So I theoretically could build this entire team to premier or gold or beyond by myself, just by slotting customers down here below these executives. That's really boring, and it's going to take me a long time to do that. So hopefully I find leaders along the way who can help me do that, right? But when I get to that point where now I have a solid platinum team and I'm ready for the next leg, that is a strategy that you can use. And this is a strategy that I've talked to a lot of diamonds about when they're ready for their 5th leg for blue. This is also a great strategy when you're a solid premier and you're ready for your 3rd leg for silver. Because sometimes we don't have that, amazing leader that just comes to you right when you're premier and says, hey, I know you want to go silver, let's do it together, right? It just doesn't happen like that sometimes. So you can totally start that and, use some placeholders. All of these people you see on this screen, these are all either my family members or they're my really close, best friends. And some of them just order sporadically, and that's why they're not on LRP, or they're cousins and random family members of mine who have no interest in doTERRA, but I'm like, hey cousin, give me your social. I really need a placeholder account. She's like, whatever, I don't care. So that's what these kind of accounts are useful for. And what this does is it gives you sort of insurance policy. So I'm not using my neighbor or a wellness advocate I just met at a class to start my next leg. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I don't trust people like that, right? And what happens if they turn off their LRPs or they ghost you or they do something crazy and then you know, you put them in this such an important spot on your team. And it's like, what do I do now? So I like to build it with, you know, fakies, with these little family member placeholder type accounts. And then as I acquire those new wellness advocates, as I meet these new people, I can go through a vetting period with them. So I can say, hey, I'm so glad you're interested in sharing. Let's set up 6 weeks of mentoring calls together. Let's go through the Live, Share, Build guides. Let's get, you know, our first wellness consult under your belt. Let's have you take the Strengths Finder test. You know, start really working that relationship with that potential new wellness advocate. Then at the end of your mentoring time with them, you have them host a class. And then based off of, you know, the outcome of that class, you make a decision on which place in this structure you want to get to them, right? So say I met a new girl, she goes through 6 weeks of calls with me, she hosts a class, she gets 15 people to show up to her first class and 10 of them enroll. Wow, that's a great outcome. She clearly understands how to host, how to invite, how to enroll, all these things she's successful at. So now I can make the decision of, where do I want to place her on this structure? None of these people care because they're all placeholders, right? So all I have to do is a simple transfer form when she upgrades, and I can gift her any of these positions on this structure that I want, right? But because I've gone through that vetting period, you know, I have a much longer time frame than 14 days to be able to make a decision about her. But the reason why I have that time is because I've already created these key positions on my team. So I allow myself to take my time making decisions on where I want to place people. So
I'm going to interject here really quick, because this is why and how we're teaching everyone to get rank, unilevel, and power of 3. People keep hearing us talking about the 2x2 structure, and they're assuming that we're anti-power of 3 because we're not teaching power of 3.
No way.
We are pro power of 3, just delaying the process and doing it better. When she replaces these people with real builders who are committed, who showed up, who did mentoring, who can influence people, who can attract people, and she puts that builder into that position, she doesn't have to worry about now that person not following through on their commitment, and she will get solid long-term power 3. She just won't get it out of the gate because she's growing it and going to make it better and more solid.
Right. Most leaders, most top-level leaders will always talk to you about planning long-term for your business, long-term versus short-term, right? But the reality is 14 days, that's short-term, guys. And you cannot make a truly educated decision about people within 14 days. You know, it's such a small amount of time for you to be able to make so many decisions. Are they going to be a builder? Are they not? Are they going to be somebody that can contribute to power of 3 or not? You know, there's so many different variables up in the air. So I try, and I think like 90% of the spots on my team, I try to not use customers for any of my power of 3 positions, right? They really shouldn't be customers because customers are unreliable. Even ones that are invested in the lifestyle, you know, things happen, people go to the hospital, they get in car accidents, you know, there's natural disasters, all kinds of crazy stuff that happens. And then they either turn off LRP, they have to drop it down, weird things happen. You know, they have no real reason to order 100. I mean, of course, we have, you know, points and, you know, products of the month and stuff like that. That's great. But really, as a customer, I'm not really getting anything for putting in a 100 PV order, right? But your business builders and your sharers and your leaders, heck yeah, they're putting in their 100 PV because they want their commissions every month, right? So you want to make sure those key positions on your team are filled with people that you can count on long term, not just slotting customers in to fill holes, because then what happens is, where are your power of 3 positions? They're on your level 1, your level 2, and your level 3, right? We don't need customers there. Level 1 should be your golds, level 2 should be your premiers, level 3 should be your executives. So nowhere in there does it say customers, right? Leaders, leaders, leaders. Any customer volume that's up there on those levels is just going to wind up being wasted volume for you at some point because you want underneath those future executives. And when we're constantly spotting customers up there to try to fill in those power of 3 spots, it just winds up not contributing to rank for you in the long run.
And makes a mess.
Yeah, a big mess.
It's hard to keep track of. All right, so I want to answer a couple questions here. So one of them, simple question: who pays the membership for your placeholders?
Good question. Yeah. So some of these people did actually want to enroll when some of them enrolled. Some of them I paid for myself. If it's like a family member, I will sometimes pay the $35 myself. If you have somebody, like say you have just one builder, like say Angela was a real builder, for example, and I want to use her, I want to start placeholder in her team. I can work with her and we can work together to find placeholders as well. It really doesn't matter who owns the enrollment of the placeholders, guys, because they're not going to be there long term, right? So they can be my placeholders, they can be Angela's placeholders. So I want to tell Angela, if Angela was a real builder, I would tell her as my new builder, hey Angela, so glad you're a new builder. The first step for you being a new builder is we need to identify 2 legs for you where we can organize your team, and this will help you for your future success in ranking up with doTERRA. Easy, right? If you don't know anybody that wants to do the doTERRA business with you, that's okay. We want to enroll 2 placeholders. They could be your mom, your brother, your sister, your cousins, your best friends, whoever you want, right? And I want to encourage Angela to do that work as my new builder, to bring those 2 placeholders to the table, right? If she does not have people that she feels like want to do this business with her. So, you know, it can be people who she pays the enrollment fee for, and we just set up the account with a $35 fee. If she is unable to bring placeholders to the table, that would be a red flag for me as a new builder. But, you know, you can also help with putting in those placeholders. You can also use placeholders that are on LRP. I do have some other family members that are on LRPs, high and low ones. So like my brother, for example, he's on LRP, but usually orders like 50 or less. I could totally slot him in here as a placeholder too. He actually did enroll and, you know, pay his own fee. So look at family and friends that you already have enrolled on your team and look at, yeah, and who can I upgrade to use as placeholders, right? And if you can upgrade them and just start moving things around, then you can kind of work with what you already have. If you don't have that and you need to create from scratch, then yeah, somebody has to pay for the fee, right? If it's important to you to get it set up the right way, then the $35 for me is honestly not that much of an investment to know that I'm potentially saving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in volume in the long run, right?
I want to answer a couple questions too about that. So I want to clarify that and make sure people heard what you said about, like, your brother really does have his own account that he created. He really does use doTERRA products and has LRP regardless of what the amount is, and he pays for his own products. So it's very important for you all to understand that doTERRA does not want you to double dip, right? So even if Mandy, say, paid for somebody's membership down there, right, for them to be a placeholder, she doesn't put her credit card on their account. And if they order products and they pay for it, right?
Yep.
Right? So you do not have a financial, personal, you're not controlling and double dipping income from multiple accounts and have your own credit card on there. Like, so for example, right, my mom's a placeholder because someday Jackson's going to take over her account and she's old, right? My mom orders products, pays for them with her credit card, and uses the products, even though she's a placeholder, right? Because at that level, she will be, right? It's not my credit card and I'm not just ordering products for her, right? Just like your Angela orders her own products right there. She's on LRP, right? Want to make sure people don't just go around and start opening a bunch of accounts for family members and putting their credit cards in and doing all that. Tara's going to be like, yo, you can't do that. You cannot have a financial interest personally in more than one account. Right.
I actually have a great script for this too in my placements group. If you're already in that group, it's post number 20 if you want to go review it. If you're not in that group, it's a fantastic group to join. But it's called a placeholder script. And it's basically just letting these people know that you're going to put into these positions what this really means, right? So before I moved any of these people here, I made sure they understood, hey, this is a future position where I'm going to need volume. I'm going to be putting people under you at some point in the future. And when your team reaches $2,000 in OV, there's a couple of options that we have. Because you're my placeholder, if you want to turn on 100 PV LRP and be committed to that, you know, you can sit there with your 100 PV LRP and you can actually collect commissions on these people that I place underneath you. Or if you don't want to commit to that 100 PV LRP, then I can just swap you out with somebody else when the time comes, right? Most of them don't want to do the 100 PV LRP or else they would be doing it right now, right? So it's pretty easy to just do that transfer form when the time comes. But, you know, you never know. And sometimes when you have this placeholder conversation with them and they understand the dynamic of the position that they're in, how much potential income there is, and that this is really like a key position on your team, sometimes you really get some interesting things that happen where people are really engaged and are interested and they want to learn more and they ask about hosting classes. So, you know, there's a lot of real interesting things that can come from using placeholders.
It's a good way to taproot and find future builders, right?
Yep.
And so one thing I want to point out too, for those of you questioning, so what level, right, customers go on? So customers go on your level 4 or 5, depending on where your qualifier is. Some of you may not have your qualifier on your front line. It might be on your level 2, just because of how long you've been building. You didn't know about this process back then. Right? But the point is to make sure that your whatever level your qualifier is on, that you're going to use them as your qualifier, and the first level below them, you want it to be placeholders or real builders, and the level below them, you want it to be placeholders or real builders. Someday down the road, for those of you that have been doing this for a long time, right? So we're going to say that, is it Angela? Is that her name? Angela's on Mandy's front line, okay? Someday down the road, when this leg gets a lot bigger, right? And Mandy's helping this person rank up, customers are gonna get lower and lower and lower as those people, right, are all starting to really build, right? So you're not just gonna have a structure where everybody's on level 1 through 4, right? Mandy may, and Angela, as they work together to grow this leg, right, they may end up with a future builder on a lower level because they put a wholesale customer on level 4, and that person may decide within 90 days to start building. That's awesome. Great. We'll take it. If they don't have a place that they need to relocate her to or have her take another spot, right? So point being, if you have builders that show up on 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, right, that can happen. Run with it. That's exciting. That means you could end up with 2 qualifiers, right? I have that on a lot of my legs. My very first leg, my very first builder, just kind of fizzled out, doesn't do anything anymore. She's sometimes gold, always silver, right? But I have another builder that was a wholesale customer who decided to start sharing and building out of nowhere, right, on my level 5 in that first leg, and she's reached silver. So now I have a gold and a silver in one leg. So if something ever happens to the person at the top, I still have someone below. So I'm always going to be able to reach diamond and blue diamond. So as you grow, you could end up with, right, it only takes 6 real builders or 6 legs to get to presidential. If you're doing a good job and making sure that you're talking to everyone that you enroll about the doTERRA sharing and building opportunity, you're going to end up with more than 6 people that want to share and build doTERRA, right? People always ask me, how do you have so many builders? Because they're always posting, I don't have any builders, I don't have any builders. Well, when I ask, I'm always asking, when I enroll people, do you want to be a user, a sharer, a builder? shares, gets free stuff. Should we go ahead and upgrade? Builder builds a business, right? 99% of the time, they're going to say no. And the problem is you're all listening to ask number one, and you're saying, oh, they don't want to be a builder. You got to ask them again, because after they start using these products and falling in love with them, they might want to share and build now. That's why we're always asking people about hosting classes, always asking people about sharing oils and enrolling their own friends and family to get free stuff. Because it can take 7 to 10 times asking the same person over the years about hosting a class and getting free stuff, enrolling your own friends and family and getting free stuff before they'll say, yeah, I want to do that. It took me 6 months. How long did it take you, Mandy?
Before I really had my own builders?
Before you said, went from user to share builder?
Oh, over a year.
Over a year. So Mandy said no. I said no. If we asked, there was a post on the Diamond Board, and the post was, how many of you started building in your first 14 days? 99% said no.
There was another post that was, what did you first enroll with? And I think like more than half of the people just enrolled with a $35 fee and a couple of oils.
And they were all in the Diamond and Above board.
Yeah. Crazy.
Right? Doesn't matter what you enroll people with. It can turn into something. Doesn't matter how many times they say no, it can turn into something.
Right.
I have a friend who's a Diamond who said no to LRP and paid one-time ordering fees for like 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And she's a Diamond now. So this is where we want to help people with their mindset. You don't harass people, right? You're casually, continually saying, hey, you want to share and build, host a class with Graphic? Or, 2 months later, you do a video in your group and say, hey, don't forget, everyone can share and build with doTERRA. Actually, I try to add that to every video I do, right? But we're getting all those. I don't have any builders comments. I don't have any builders comments, right? You're going to grow them. You're going to create them. You're going to find from those wholesale customers that you enroll, that you're going to cultivate, like Mandy said, you're going to mentor, then you're going to upgrade them and put them in a true builder position.
Yep. And going back to that question of where do I put my builders, the thing I tell people on my mentoring calls is don't get wrapped up with numbers, right? Level 1, 2, 3, whatever. Because like Lisa said, as you continue to progress in building your rank, it's very likely that qualifiers will not always be across your front line. It's great if they are, and if you can maintain that all the way to the top, then you're amazing. But more than likely, that won't happen at some point. So don't get super wrapped up in like 1, 2, 3, 4. What you want to do is always remember ranks, right? So your qualifiers, wherever they are, level 1, level 3, level 7, your qualifiers all need to be future gold leaders, right? Their wellness advocates underneath them need to be future premiers. The wellness advocates underneath them need to be future executives. Then underneath that executive is where you place customer volume, right? So you have qualifier, your qualifiers are gold, underneath them is the premiers, underneath them is the executives, and then you place volume underneath that executive level. And then usually the secondary question I get from that is, okay, I don't have anybody anywhere deeper than that executive. Is it okay that I just put volume across their front line? And here's what I'll say about that. If that person, whether they're a placeholder or wellness advocate, if that person is bringing their own wellness advocates to the table, they're doing their own work, they're building their own structure, then of course, I'm not just going to destroy that core executive structure and just place stuff across their front line, right? I will help place my customers underneath their legs, right, to help them with their structure. But if that person's not doing that work, then you can absolutely make an executive with people just across the front line. It's not horrible. You never need that person to ever be anything more than an executive, right? That executive will take you all the way to Blue Diamond. So if you have a little fat executive that's sitting down there on your level 3, but it's helping to solidify your gold, who's taking you to Blue Diamond, you're not going to care what that executive structure looks like, right? And if that's just a placeholder or somebody that's just sitting there doing their 100 PV order, then why do you care about structuring them? Because that structure doesn't matter, and your power of 3 doesn't go that far down anyways. Even if that person was on your top level, the gold is your power of 350, the premier is your 250, the executive's your 1500. So what goes on in that executive's front line, it doesn't impact your power of 3. And as long as they stay at 2000, which you don't need a structure to be 2000, as long as they stay 2000, that's going to keep you blue diamond, right? So you help them with their structure if they're doing their own work. If they're not doing their own work, then in the nicest way possible, I don't really care about the structure, right? Because I don't need them to have a structure for me to get to blue diamond.
They might even get power 3 because their front line is going to have more people on it, right? And you want to make sure that the people that you're placing there are wholesale customers, right? You don't put wellness advocates down there, and because it'll make up power 3. And if one of those wholesale customers decides they want to build someday, right? That's your garden, right? Level 4 and 5 are your green garden of wholesale customers.
Yep.
Putting there to place. You're going to grow that garden. You're going to talk to all those wholesale customers level 4 and 5 regularly, right? In follow-up, how you doing? Want to share? Want to host a class? Want to get free stuff? And you're going to grow them into someone to take over a spot if you need a builder replaced or a placeholder replaced, or you're going to turn them into a builder and put them where you need a builder, where you need a new leg, after you qualify them and work with them and handhold them, host a class with them, get people to show up, right?
Do the 6 weeks of calls or 4 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever you want to do. Put in some type of qualification so that they're working to earn that position.
Yep. And then you'll grow them, and then you'll put them where you need them, and you'll go from there, right? So those wholesale customers are not permanent, but you really want to upgrade and move them when they're ready to do more, right?
It's your future wellness advocate shopping center.
Yes, it is. So for example, right now, right, I have someone that they're like, yeah, I don't want to do this 100 PV thing anymore. I'm out. I say, great, just work with me. And I go to my garden and I'm assessing who would be the right person for that, who could do more. And I'm going to cultivate them. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to qualify them. And if they pass all the tests, I'm going to upgrade them and put them in that new spot. But I've got a garden of people to pick from, right?
Yep.
Right. So you're going to have a lot of questions, folks. It's okay. We'll come back and answer some, but it's super, super important, right, to get into Mandy's structuring group. For those of you that are newer, we probably fried your brains. What you want to leave here with, right? What you want to leave here with is action item. I'm new. I need to look at the people I've already enrolled. I need to have a conversation with them about, do they want to share and build? Do I have a relationship with them enough to say, hey, Susie, yo, I need you to put your social in and upgrade and be a placeholder for me. Sound good, right? You can't do that with strangers. You need to find your 2. Who are your 2? 2 people on your front line to be wellness advocates for you, period. Either a real builder or a placeholder. Help them find their 2 or use 2 more of yours. Go through your existing structure. Everything can be fixed. That's what Mandy specializes in, is fixing. We're going to call you the fixer.
The placements group starts from the beginning too, guys. So it really is for all levels and all ranks. And something that I hear a lot when I'm like private messaging with people on Facebook, they're like, oh, I don't think that I want to do the structure course because I'm still brand new.
That's when you need it.
When you're brand new, it is the best time to actually do it because you're going to learn the right way to set your team up for success from the beginning, right? You're going to learn how to build this little structure that right here that we have on the screen. You're going to learn how to build this from the beginning so that you don't have a ton of wasted volume and accounts in the wrong positions.
Roxanne asked, so what are the tests that these people pass? So we're going to teach you about that, right? And you do that in the structuring group, Mandy?
So what I would recommend doing, there's a couple of different ways you could do it. I mean, you could totally just take them through like the Live Share Build guides, right? Is something that doTERRA already has in place that we can walk a new person through. if they're saying, hey, I want to upgrade, I want to build, great. I have a position that you can take over. In order for me to potentially make a decision about that, I need you to invest in this, ongoing mentoring series with me, whatever it may be. Then during that 6 or 8 weeks of calls, whatever you want to do, you can cover the materials doTERRA already has for you. We also have that new amazing sales guide, which is super awesome to walk people through. There's also a program called Pre-Elite that I really like if you want something that's more kind of like hand-holding through the process. So you can look that up, or I can
more of that in here in the next week too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the tests are. And then, so what I use is my FAQ system for builders. I have it built, and someone says, hey, I want to do that. I say, awesome. And each one of my posts is a test. Like, did they make their list of names? Did they schedule their 4 dates? So the tests are pretty easy. In fact, Tammy already posted them. So we'll do that one day in here on a live, and I'm going to take some of you guys through my beginning steps of my builder FAQ, so you can see those tests and get a feel for it. And they need a more structured, like weekly mentoring program. That's where the mentor checklist comes in. That's free in the files tab. And I need to wrap up, but so I will repost this live. I will put the information. If you need one-on-one mentoring with Mandy for structuring, you still do that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you can go to mandyjohnston.com/mentoring, and on that link, can they see to register for the group and the private mentoring?
Yes, I think so. If you go to my website, just mandyjohnston.com, there's a menu bar at the top, and the option on the far right-hand side says mentoring and training groups. And if you click there, all the good stuff is in there.
Yep, click that. All right, so, but visually, this will help give you a good visual. In the Files tab here in Get Biz Efficient, don't forget we have the rank planners for you, right? So print out one of every single rank, so that you can see and start visualizing, okay, I'm getting it. Because the different colored circles are the different colored ranks, and we have it all mapped out on each rank planner for you, so you know what color circle you're helping to get that person to reach what rank, what volume they need to have. We have it printed on every single planner, right? And you always want to be planning ahead, right? So yes, rewatch. Sabina, yes, her group is a paid group. It's $29 forever as long as the group's open. It's not monthly. It's just a one-time fee. She has all the forms in there that doTERRA requires now, and every time they change a process for like transfers, WC upgrades, WAs, exceptions, moves, team moves, cross-line moves, the whole shebang, every time they change the process, she completely updates you on all the forms, etc., what to use, how. That's what I'm paying for. So I know how to structure, right? I trained Mandy how to structure. So I've got that down. But then I'm like, Mandy, what's the rule on this thing now? Right? And I go into the structure group and I grab her updated form because they just redid everything. And so regardless of what rank you are, that's what I'm using the group for. I have my own builders pay to get in the group because I don't have the time to tell my whole team, Summer, can you get the door? How to do this all the time, right? I need to build my expert network, and my expert network includes Mandy and my team using me. So I gotta go, guys. I gotta go to dinner. Thank you, Mandy. I appreciate this awesome training today. And guys, I will come back later tonight and update the
Hi guys, I'm back. So what'd you think of that? Let's discuss. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.